Hello everyone, welcome to this quick class with Bliss Cephas-Alokan. So today I want to teach you something about purpose. Now I know that purpose is something that we've talked about for a very long time. We've asked questions about it, you've read books on purpose, you've maybe even attended seminars tagged purpose, themed purpose. We've had conversations around the topic or the word purpose. But I want to highlight 3 things that you should know about purpose. And this is very important if you are a woman aiming to do great things. This is very important if you're a woman aiming to do great things. If you are bent on fulfilling all that God has called you to do, if you are a woman of exploits, you want to do exploits in your time, if you are passionate, or if you are interested in maybe even guiding people along that line, probably your niche is around purpose. Now these are 3 things I want you to know. Number 1, you can't understand or fit everything about purpose into a statement that you receive at a particular time. And this is why, because I've come to understand that as we walk with God, He reveals more about what He has called us to do per time and season. So the more we walk with Him, the more we're intimate with God, the more we get knowledge, the more we're enlightened, we get a bigger or clearer sense of what we ought to do, or what we've been called to do. Particularly because there are times when you come into a particular season and then God begins to open another dimension or another expression of purpose that you didn't even know you were supposed to walk in. And so the assignments, that is like tasks, or let me say projects that you are on, that you're working on at a particular time, you can find out that it's changing. Why some you might do for a long period of time, some might even just be, okay, there's this burden, I want you to work on it, you have a solution in your heart to work on it, and then it's not something you're doing on the long term. But what I'm saying is because sometimes we restrict ourselves, we are trying to just look for one particular statement that sort of wraps up everything we've been called to do in life. And most times we find out that when we have, maybe at an early stage, when you sort of have a statement, now as you walk with God and you begin to sense other burdens in your heart that maybe were not there before, you think maybe you're wrong, or you think it's not right, or you think you're moving out of the will of God. Not necessarily. He shows you more and more things as you walk with Him. So it's very possible that there are things that you're doing now that you never thought you would do or you could actually do, maybe like in the past 2-3 years. So you see that you get more understanding of that bigger picture as you walk with Him. And so do not box yourself, don't put yourself into a corner and feel like, okay, this is what I've heard now, nothing else can come outside this. No, and don't feel like, oh, I'm getting burdens for other things that I never thought I didn't receive in the past. Am I still on the right path? You probably are still on the right path. So what I would say is understand the burdens that you're sensing in your heart per season, per time. What are those nudges? What is it that is brewing within you? What is it that God is pointing your heart to? What is it that you are contributing to at that particular time? Or what is it that you can sense that this is priority at this time? Walking in it, understanding it, just doing the will of God per time. Honestly, you discover that as you continue in this light, you will eventually find yourself walking on the right path. So don't be scared when you start getting nudges for new things, or things that you didn't even think you were skilled for. Don't feel like, oh, this thing is outside my path, I'm not supposed to be on it. Not necessarily. Maybe, just maybe that's what he wants you to work on at that particular time. Number 2. So the second thing I want to say is you actually need it's not enough for you to sense that, okay, this is the part I have to work on, and then you believe that, oh, all is well, or that's all, I don't need to do anything, everything will fall in place. No. Do you know that you actually need, there's a place of learning, there's a place of being skilled or being equipped for the work or the things that you've been called to do. There's a place of increasing your proficiency. So this could mean getting a particular degree around that area that you want to work in fully. It could be you training, getting skills. It could be you attending seminars. It could be you following someone you consider an industry leader or a leader in that industry. It could also be you volunteering with someone who already has a system that is running, particularly in that sphere or that niche. Okay, so you actually need to learn and be schooled for a purpose. You need to. Don't just receive the call and sit and feel like, hey, that's all, that's it, that's what I need. No, there's so much more to that. You need to be equipped. I pay for coaching. I pay for coaching. And that's because I need to understand how the prophetic can be converted to the pragmatic. So there are things I see in the scriptures, there are nudges in my heart, there are things I want to do, but I need to understand how it can be, how it applies to our contemporary time. I need to know the relevance of this. Okay, what am I supposed to do with these things that is brewing in my heart? Okay, how do I translate this vision I got from the scripture? How do I translate it into modern day language? You need to be schooled for purpose. Number 3, it is very possible that you are walking a path that it seems like there's nobody on that path. It's very possible that new ideas are brewing in your heart, and you can't necessarily find someone around you or someone in your community that's already walking on that path. It doesn't mean you are wrong. It doesn't mean you're wrong. I mean, I look, just think about the God that we serve. I think about all the things He created. Think about all the miracles that Jesus did when He was. I mean, just things that have never ever been seen or done before they were actually done. Think about the inventions, innovations, and things we've seen. Someone was able to birth it because it entered someone's mind. So if you are trailing a path that feels very unfamiliar, it doesn't necessarily mean that you're not supposed to be doing that. It could just be that you are probably a pace setter in that. Now, what I want to say is, if you are in that position, don't block everyone out and feel like, oh, nobody is on the path that God has called me to walk, so I'm all alone and I can't learn from anybody. No, you will still find some people, or you still find people who have, in fact, you find people who have also broken out on a path that at their own time seemed very unfamiliar, but because they stuck with it or they were consistent in it, they broke out. And so you can learn some things from them, because you can identify that, oh, I'm a pace setter, they were pace setters. Do you understand? So you can identify with them. All right. You could also learn 1 or 2 things from them. You could also find someone also who is in that industry. And when I mean industry, I mean that area, that sphere. Even though your idea is sort of unique, or what you want to do has maybe never been done before, but you will still have people functioning in that area that you want to execute that work. Okay? And so you could also learn 1 or 2 things from them. Another thing is, you would definitely need to do a lot of study. You need to do a lot of research, because you need a lot of information. You need to be equipped. Like I said before, you need information, particularly if you are now breaking out in a path that seems very unfamiliar, or you are a pace setter, or you are doing an idea that's never been done before. Okay, so you would really need to do a lot of study. You need to do a lot of research. You need to have that solution you want to birth. Try and see how it will be backed up by data, or that project, or just so that you yourself, you don't start doubting if what you want to do or what you want to work in is not realistic. And number 2, in fact, you might also need to understand that there are seasons. Okay, so you might do something, coming up with an idea, and it seems like it's not accepted. It seems like you're struggling a whole lot. It doesn't mean that maybe it's not something that shouldn't happen. It might just be that the time for that thing has not come. So you might even do it and discover that it will take like maybe 2, 3, 4, 5 years for it to yield maximum results. Now, the good thing about it is, if it's something that is gonna maybe blow up in the future, you would have done it, executed it, prepared yourself, and when that thing is needed, immediately, like there's just, look at what happened to Zoom. Do you understand? So you could create something and it seems like nobody's accepting it, nobody's looking for it. Doesn't mean that it's not useful or it's never going to be needed. It might just be that there's a particular time, there's a time for that thing, and by the time for it comes, it will just be like boom, you just achieve maximum results. Do you know why? Because you were prepared beforehand. I hope these 3 things blessed you. These are the 3 things I want you to take out from. You might need to watch this video again to learn from it, okay? You need to watch this video again to learn from it, take note of some things, and I want to hear from you. Did these things that I shared, did they resonate with you? Is this what you're going through? Do you have questions about it? You can drop it in the comment for me. I want to also go watch my video on this channel, Returning to Your Purpose, because I also shared some insight about the issue of purpose that you're going to find useful.